Okay, we're in the home stretch here. We're in the top 20 of my top 50 books in my collection in 2021. Stick around. Welcome back, family. This is a long night. I'm trying to do all these videos in one night, and I'm going to be dropping them one at a time. Kind of like Disney Plus, but they do it once a week. I'm going to try to do once per day. Why not? Guys, thank you so much for joining and making this channel grow and everything else. Now, before I hit these top 20, I want to talk about two things real quick. One is I have two books that I have not received yet that I know will be on the list of 2022, and they should be in this list. One is one that I purchased but is not due to be received until January 4th. Hence, it's not 2021. And the other one is a book that I submitted for, one of three books that I submitted for cleaning and grading at CGC. And I submitted it 11 months ago. And today, at the time of this recording, which is December 28th, and I know you'll be seeing this later, but at the time of this recording, today is a day that it actually got moved from schedule for grading to grading, encapsulating, and imaging. And I saw that, and I was actually in front of my boss, and I happened to see the notification. I was like, he's like, is everything okay? I went, yeah, you wouldn't understand. Okay, so let's hit number 20 on the list. Guys, this top 20 was so hard for me to sort. It really was because, again, here's my criteria. Some people use just values, sentimental value, monetary value, how hard it is to replace, how hard it is to find another one. A lot of different criteria. I try to mesh them all together. I try to incorporate all of these things together into one video, into one way of ranking these. And my ultimate way of doing it is if my house was on fire and I could run in and grab one book and then run back out without killing myself, well, that would be my number one. And then if I could turn around and I have time to run back and get one more book, that would be number two. And that's the way I had to do the entire top list. So each one I'm kind of looking at and went, I would pick this one over this. And it took a while to narrow it down. Last year when I was doing my top 20, I had a hard time getting 20 books. This year when I said, all right, these are the books I'm considering for my top 50, I had 67 books. I had to eliminate 17 books, and that was such a great feeling. So let's get going here. Number 20, we have X-Men number 221. First appearance of Mr. Sinister, which I really think will be in the MCU in a 9.8 white page. It's not a newsstand, but it's still a great book. It's from 1987. Wow, 34 years old. Looking really good, and that's a great book to have in the collection. I love it. Number 19. This was in my top 20 last year, and it's not the highest value one. It's a good value one, but I remember how it made me feel. Is Batman Adventures collection, Batman Adventures Continue, number 1. The Frankie's Comics edition, 9.8 white page, autographed and sketched by Peach Momoko. And yeah, I remember when I saw this and I saw the Japanese writing here. I'm like, oh my God, she wrote something in Japanese. It's got to be a message. And then I translated it. It said Peach Momoko. That was her name. That's her signature. Adoy. But still, it's got a nice little sketch here at the bottom. And I love this book. I always will. Momoko art is really hit or miss for me. She makes a lot of stuff that I love. Some stuff that I'm like, meh. My favorite would probably be Jenny Ferguson. Number 18, also from last year's list, Strange Academy, number 1, and a 9.8 white page. Great book to have in your collection. It's dropped a little bit in value, but not terribly. Still a great book to have, and I think it has a lot of potential for the future. This was an under-purchased book when it first came out. Number 20, 19, 18, 17. Okay. Number 17 is a book that I added to my collection. I actually had two of them, and this is when I was learning to press that I kind of melted one. Ugh, that hurt a lot. This one actually came out okay, and I got a 9.4 white page of Vengeance number 1. There we go. With our first appearance. Yes, you gotta love it. Oh, wow. You know what? I remembered to bring them today. Na 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 na. First appearance of Ultimate Nullifier, Mako, Radioactive Kid, New Black Knight. Oh, and by the way, America Chavez, Miss America, which we know will be in the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. That's one thing I didn't notice before. Is I thought it was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. No, it's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it looks like a good movie until I saw the trailer. I'm like, I've got to see this movie. Okay. So, Sweet 16, here we go. Now, this is a book, if you saw my thank you for 2021 video, and I hope you did. I hope you liked it. Was a book that I traded away in cooperation with an ASM 361 to get something which is still coming on my list. But what I didn't say was when I traded my 9.4 was that I replaced it with a 9.6. Daredevil number 9, first appearance of Echo. And I'll be honest, the Hawkeye series was better than I thought it was going to be. The Echo character underwhelmed me. Okay, and I'm a little worried about that. She's getting her own series. I'm hoping to develop the character a little bit better. I hope they get her a little bit closer to... I know they use scenes from the comic, but I want to feel like I'm actually seeing the character that I read in the comic. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this still. Daredevil number 9 from 1999, first appearance of Maya Lopez, Echo, in a 9.6 white page. Number 15, another X-Men book. And I know that the value on this one is not as high as the Mr. Sinister, but I happen to like this character better. First appearance of Jubilee in a 9.8 white page, and it also has the custom label on the top here. So kudos to that. That's worth at least an extra $5 alone. But I like the X-Men 244, first appearance of Jubilee, 9.8 white page. Number 14 on the list it's a CBCS, which I know some people hold against me, and I'm sorry, and this is an older slab as well, so it's got the older label, and I really got to upgrade this at some point, but I'm afraid to. Invincible Iron Man number 7, first appearance of Riri Williams in cameo in a 9.8 white page. Still a great book to have in your collection. For 14, 13, 12, 11. Yep, number 14. I didn't lose track here. This is a book that was in last year's collection. Was it in? I think so. If it wasn't, it was because I didn't own it. It wasn't because it didn't make the... But Darth Vader, number 3, in a 9.8 white page. First appearance of Dr. Aphra. Now, this isn't the 1 in 25 variants, which is a great, great cover. Oh, man, I love that cover. I can't afford that cover, let's be honest. But still, first appearance of Dr. Aphra. As popular as this book is, this character still has yet to make it to the screen. Can you imagine what happens? I mean, it's all about fan service these days. Can you imagine what happens when this does? This book is going to literally explode. If you haven't got one of these in your collection yet, please do. I have one book, one copy of this. This is one of the 3 books that I have out at CGC that just made it to grading. And it was a 9.0, and I know it can be better than that. I'm hoping for another 9.8. Even if I get a 9.6, I'm going to be happy with that. Okay. Oh, boy. We're getting some really good books here. Number 12. 5.0 off-white to white page. You're like, what's so good about an off-white to white page? Spider-Man number 51. First cover appearance of the Kingpin. Which, by the way... I've decided that the next time I go to either Dragon Con or a decent not that any Comic Con is not decent, a decent sized Comic Con, I'm going to cosplay Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. And I'm going with the D'Onofrio version. I might even go with the Hawaiian shirt version with the hats. Because, let's be honest, a lot of us would love to dress up as comic characters. We don't all have Reggie Collect's physiques to do it with. So I have to consider larger frame characters. And Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, is a larger frame character that I think I could pull off. I will not be going with a skull cap. I will be true and shave my head bald. So we'll have to see how that goes. By the way, it's a lot harder to find somebody selling a white suit than you would think in 2021. And coming in at number 11, and then I'm going to have to pause while I grab the next 10. This is a book that I sold, and I bought another copy because I immediately missed it in slightly lower grade because, you know what, I gave the person who bought it a really good buy. It's a creamed off-white page, 3.5 of Fantastic Four, number 50. It's not the first appearance of Silver Surfer, but he's appeared in a small frame, but it's really the first really prominent cover appearance of Silver Surfer. This is part of the 3-book trilogy, 48, 49, 50, which had the first appearance of Silver Surfer and Galactus. But more importantly, this is when Johnny Storm goes to college. Come on. And it's got that brown background that we all love. So, yes, I had to go and get that book back. I'm going to pause for a second while I grab my top 10, and then we're going to hit it. Okay, so we got the top 10 books here. And I just want to let you know that I am not solely driven by monetary value, okay? It is a contributing factor. Let's be honest. It would be stupid for any of us to not have it as a contributing factor. But I added up the fair market value of these 10 books. And even though we've got a little bit of a lull in prices, that everything does this as long as the overall keeps going up. We're all happy, right? Even though we're in a little bit of a lull, my top 10 fair market value is rated at 10K mark. And that was so cool to me. I couldn't believe it. So coming in at number 10, this is the book that I traded my 9.4 Daredevil number 9 and my ASM 361 first appearance of Carnage, which looking back, I'm glad I did, in a 9.6. A couple of other small books. I didn't care. And I felt like I did poorly on the trade, but every time I look at the book, I love the book. And that was worth it to me. It's an off-white to white page, 5.0, Fantastic Four number 9. And I absolutely just love this cover. I love this book. No regrets. That's what you got to look for. Coming in at number 9, this is a book that blew up while it was out of grading because of, unfortunately, a passing of an icon, a great actor, and a great person. Black Panther number 2, first appearance of Shuri in a 9.8 white page. I got this book, and it was good. It was nice. I sent it off for grading, and while it was out is when Chadwick passed away. And, of course, everybody's speculating that Shuri would take over the role, which, look, at the time of this recording, I'm hearing rumors that she's been fired. Letitia Wright's been fired. Is she going to be recast? I don't know. I still have no regrets of the book. I love the book. And I'm glad I have it in my collection. Whether she becomes the next Black Panther or not is completely irrelevant in that fashion. This book is a 9.8 white page, and this is one of the books that I flipped out when I pulled it out of the grading. I bought it in a raw and was so happy when I got the grading for Kanan number 6. Now, yes, Kanan number 1 is the first appearance in small frames and cameo. This is the Hulk 181 debate. Same thing here is first full appearance. It doesn't even say first full appearance up in here. But this is the one that the market has dictated is worth a lot. And just so you know, I'm trying to look behind me and over this shoulder right about here. Hey, I'm getting a little better of it. I do have a Kanan number 1. I got it at the same time I bought this, but unfortunately that one only hit a 9.6. So it's still a good grade, but it's not that coveted 9.8. This is a book that was on last year's list, and the more I have it, the longer I have this, the more I love it. It's only a 6.0 off-white to white page, but it's still my Doctor Strange 169, which, guess what? That's another book I got from Battlegrounds and Shane and Hester and Rough Edges. Guys, I think a lot of my collection is from you guys. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6. Wow, this would be, last year would probably be, jeez. I remember pulling this out, and I think I was wearing my Batman t-shirt at the time, and my wife showed me the grade, and I was like, I am Batman. I am Batman. I was freaking out again. God, the joy that we can have off of expensive paper. What a world we live in. Invincible Iron Man, number 9, in a 9.8 white page. First full appearance of Riri Williams. Top 5. Da 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 da. There's been some jumbling on the books. It's just how, I feel about it. Next year they may jumble around a little bit more. Number 5, 9.8 white page. True first printing of the Something is Killing the Children, number 1. Now, I did have the foil version on this, and I sold it at the last show, and I've been trying to rebuy it. Man, I can't even come close to what I sold it for. So, I don't know if the person that bought it from me actually subscribes to the channel, but if you do, and you happen to be the person that bought it from me, kudos, you got a good buy, because I can't buy it back at that price. My top 4, let me take a quick look. That's cool. Okay, so one of my top 4 is a repeat offender from last year. This one is not. It's only a 4.0, but it's a white page book, so that makes it cool. 1967, that makes it older than me. And first appearance of the Kingpin in Amazing Spider-Man number 50. If you've been watching anything with Far From Home or Hawkeye or anything, you know why this is so expensive. And if you read the comics, if you've read the Daredevil series with Echo and everything, you know why we're not worried about the ending of Hawkeye. It also, inside this book, has that iconic scene which has been recreated in the movies with the Spider-Man costume in the garbage can, where Peter Parker walking down the alleyway, leaving it behind, Spider-Man No More. This is the comic book that has that iconic scene in it. So there's a lot of great stuff in the Stanley cover, John Romita cover, John Romita cover, first appearance of Kingpin. You can't go wrong with this book. And this, I'm sorry, no matter what, this is PC. This is what this is a PC book. All 4 of the last 4 are PC books, are not going anywhere. This is my repeat offender from last year. It is Star Wars Heir to the Empire, number 1, 9.8 white page. It's a CBCS, but it's still a beautiful 9.8 white page. And it is the first appearance of Grand Admiral Thrawn. And if anybody is counting, it is also the first appearance of Mara Jade, which is the wife of Luke Skywalker. And this would be the point where if I didn't worry about copyright infringement, I would be putting the little scene in with George Lucas storming out of the room going, Luke Skywalker didn't have a wife. But I bought this in a raw, and the fair market value at that time, the going price for overall when I got this was $50. And the condition was so nice, and the owner guaranteed me a 9.8. He said he would take no less than 60, which was above what everybody was asking. And my thought was, well, if it's so guaranteed to be a 9.8, why don't you send it off? But I took a chance. I rolled the dice. I spent the $60 on it, and I got my 9.8. That's a great, great book. Okay, last 2, coming at number 2. Both of these involve the Mrs. Ohana. So, one of the books that disappeared from my collection this year was my 9.4 CBCS graded Clone Wars number 1. And the reason it disappeared is because I sold it at my last show, which was up in Calhoun, Georgia. And my wife was there, and she saw the person walking away with it. She's looking at me, she said, "You sold the Clone Wars?" I said, "Well, yeah, but you wanted to kill me when I bought it. And I sold it for like twice what I paid for it." She said, "Yeah, but now it's nostalgic." Really? I wish you would have told me that before I sold it. I got very lucky. I found one for sale. It cost me more than I sold the other one for, but the other one was a 9.4 CBCS. I got a 9.6 white page CGC. So not only did I up the grade, but to many people's eyes, I upgraded the grading company as well for almost the same price as what I sold the CBCS for. And when this came back in and the missus saw it, she said, "No, well, thank God, that's not going anywhere." So yes, this is an ultimate personal collection, but not as personal collection as number 1, which actually doesn't even belong to me. It belongs to Mrs. Ohana. And yes, people say, "Oh yeah, right, I bought comic books for my wife." Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, I'll tell my wife that and then I can get away with it. No, I literally bought this for her because I've been offered, people have tried to buy this from me. And I can't sell it because it does not belong to me. Her favorite character is Ghost Rider. And earlier this year, I was able to score her a Raw. Ghost Rider, Marvel Spotlight number 32, number 5, sorry, not number 32. Marvel Spotlight number 5, first appearance of the Ghost Rider. And when I got it, and honestly, it looked like a 3 to a 3.5. And I pressed it, and I made sure it was, I didn't stick cleaning and like scrubbing off white spots. No, but I did, take a jeweler's cloth and make sure there were no fingerprints and no oils. And the back has got, the back actually looks pretty decent on this book. It presents really well. And when I renewed my subscription to CGC, and when I renewed for my tier, I got a $150 credit. Guys, if you join CGC, make sure you join to the $149.99 tier level, because you immediately get a $150 credit towards grading. So, P.S., it becomes a free membership. So I use that $150 credit towards Fast Track on this. So I had to send it in for the higher value, Fast Track, and I think they got it back to me in like 9 days. And I wanted to record the video, and it turned out to be a horrible day at work for my wife. And she broke down in tears, and like, all right, fine, I'll do the video with you. And then she actually got happy when she saw this book. We don't all live forever, and I'm going to. All chances are, my wife is going to outlive me, and knowing that I'm trying to develop some sort of a legacy for her, or something that's other than just cash in the bank and this she could sell and this she could sell. This kind of stuff too. It means a lot, and I want to get. If I could get rid of books 11 through 50 and score one super grail, I'd do it, because that's my end game, is to get these grails. 1 through 10, a lot of these are what I shoot for. This is what I aim for. And yes, I do put in some of my own money, but at the same time, I'm trying to let the hobby fund itself. And if anybody has been following the channel, I can see where I was a year ago and where I am now. I hope that it's laid some form of blueprint for you to not get discouraged, to set your goals where you want it to be. I would love one of my goals to be an AF-15, even a low grade one. Would I trade all of this for an AF-15 minus the one that my wife would kill me for? Of course. Yeah, I would. However, you have to set reasonable goals for yourself. Like, you can't say, I'm going to start collecting and get an Action Comics #1. No, set reasonable goals so as you attain them, you feel a sense of accomplishment. And then you can set yourself a higher goal and then work towards getting that. Then a higher goal, work towards getting that, and do some trading and get some good books and get them graded. I've got a lot of books out for grading right now, with the turnaround time being as it is. I'm waiting, but I've got my first 25 book pre-screen out there. I'm excited about that. We'll see what happens when that comes back. But bottom line is, it's comic books, and I'm having fun, and hopefully what I learn and where I do well and where I don't do well, I show you, so you can either learn from my mistakes or learn from my triumphs and gauge your own stuff as well. Make sure you tune into things like JP's Budget Collecting, Reggie Collects, John's Comics with Kids, Southern Comic Geek. Oh boy, there's so many. Go to Facebook and make sure that you go to the Comic Book Mafia is a good group to go to, and Shane Hester and Dustin. What is Dustin's last name? I don't even remember. Battlegrounds in Dalton, Georgia. Sorry, not Calhoun, Dalton, and Rough Comics, RUFF. They have live shows. All these people are going to have invaluable research, evidence, information for you to help you grow in your knowledge, which will make better informed decisions. Because I don't want to take advantage of anybody. I don't want to take anybody taking advantage of me, and I want the people on my channel to learn and grow with me. Guys, thank you for joining me yet again. Looking forward to a wonderful 2022, and I'm hoping you guys have one as well. Let's get these masks off, COVID gone, and have some fun again. Meet up at the shows. And until I see you then, mahalo.